from there on I could work on improving things. Okay, so that was and from that time on in my life, I then started writing articles and sharing the things I was learning that were helping me, right? And then I started, it was only fairly recently, but then I was able to link up that experience from my childhood to me now. I was able to realize that, hang on, that was actually the cause of all these ill feelings I had about myself, including guilt, for goodness sake. I mean, I was a child when it happened, but one of the feelings I had grown up with was guilt. So these are things which, when I faced them, when I got to realize that these were the problems, I was then better able to reverse the thinking about those problems. Okay? Because at the end of the day, what happens to you happens to you. But the way it affects you is your choice. Yeah? You can choose to let an experience like the ones I had, you can choose to let those experiences to weigh you down, to keep you down and all that. And as a consequence, the rest of your life will be messed up. Or you can choose to let those things, to learn from them. I mean, they've happened. You can't change anything about what has happened already. So you can choose to learn from them and say, okay, fine, it happened, right? It doesn't change the fact that I'm still who I am. The fact it happened to me doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean I'm worthless. It doesn't affect me at all, unless I let it affect me. Okay? And at this point, I also like to share with people, because I know there are people out there who have been through abuse of some sort. And in fact, last week, when I was sharing this message, if you remember, one of the ladies here apparently had gone through something similar when she was young. And now she's a woman, grown woman, she's a mother, but she had been harboring anger and malice towards the person that did it all those years ago. And she was wondering why things weren't working for her right now, why she wasn't moving ahead. So I had to explain to her right there, which is something I want to share as well, while we're talking about this issue, that being angry with somebody for what they've done, it doesn't serve you in any way, because it won't change anything about what they've done. Okay? Rather, it hurts you to hold on to anger and malice and unforgiveness. The healthy thing to do, the right thing for you to do, for your own sake, is to forgive somebody who has hurt you, whether it's abuse or whatever. Just forgive them for whatever reason, whether they knew what they were doing, whatever. Just forgive them, let them go, and get on with your life. Because the more you hold on to these negative emotions, you're putting blocks in the path of your own prosperity, your own blessings coming to you. Okay, so negative emotions like anger and lack of forgiveness, they prevent you from moving ahead to succeed. They prevent you from moving ahead to prosper. So what I shared with her, and I'm sharing with anybody listening, was and is that you need to let go of past hurts. Whoever has hurt you, whether or not you feel you have a right to be hurt, yeah? Just let go of that right, okay, forgive them and move on. You stand to benefit when that happens. And if you don't forgive them, if you hold on to all that anger and malice, it's like you drinking poison and waiting for them to die. It's not going to happen. You're the only one to suffer, okay? So that's one thing I wanted to share from that experience. And another thing I wanted to bring out also is something that is often very hard for people who have been abused to accept. And that is that nobody can make you feel inferior, or what's the word? Nobody can make you have low self-esteem without your permission. Yeah? Abuse, when abuse happens, you can either choose to be a victim in this situation, and if you think about it, very often remaining a victim is a choice. You may not be thinking about it, you may not consciously say, I choose to be a victim and suffer all this. No. But that's what this is all about, making you aware that the fact that you remain a victim is your choice. And if after the events you're holding on to the anger and the malice and all that, you're choosing to be a victim still. Okay? So you need to come out of that whole mentality and start thinking in terms of being a victor in any situation. Alright? So let go of past hurts, forgive people, and just move on with your lives. So the thing I want to bring out from this introduction is that what made a difference in my life, really, at the end of the day, was a change in my thinking patterns. Okay? The way I thought about things the moment I began to think differently about what had happened, the moment I began to think differently about how I had been responding to what had happened, things began to turn around for me. Okay, my performance got, improved completely. Okay, the wrong sort of people began to be repelled from my life, and the right sort of people began to be attracted into my life. Do you see? And it really all boils down to your thinking patterns, and that's one thing. That's one reason why I like to share this intro at the beginning of every session I have, because it shows you, kind of puts into perspective everything that I stand for, which is that you are what you think, that your thoughts affect the outcome of your life, and that your self-image, the way you see yourself, the way you think about yourself, affects the results, your performance in any area of your life. It just spills right across the board, every area of your life. So that's really what I wanted to share in the introduction. That's basically what I wanted to share in the introduction. The only other thing I forgot to mention was that part of the turnaround that has happened in my life has resulted in where I am today, which is that I'm a very happy and fulfilled person. I'm still not where I intend to be, but I'm definitely in the right direction, and that makes all the difference. Yeah, there's always going to be room for me to improve and everything. So, but at least I'm on course in every area of my life, and that is something I'm very pleased with. And that is really the basis of the book that I've written, that was released last month. The basis of it is really to share thinking skills that women can apply in every area of their lives in order to succeed. And that's why the book is called Blueprints. It's called Inspirational Blueprints for Personal Success, because before you can manifest success outwardly, you need to manifest it on the inside first. And so that initial manifestation is what I call the blueprints. And once you got that ready, once you got that down, then the outward manifestations will happen as well. Okay, so I just want us to go through the discussion questions for the intro, and then just to go through the discussion questions for the intro, and just to get us thinking about what I've just shared now. Okay, so what I want to ask you is if you can just share with me your thoughts on why you feel, first of all, do you agree or disagree, or are neither here nor there, about the question that thinking skills are important? What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Or
it's important, yes.
Yeah? It's important. Yeah. Why would you say they are important in your opinion?
Well, it's important in a sense of guidance, because first you think, then you react to your thought. So if there's no thought, hardly any reaction will come after. So thinking brings positive, supposed to bring positive reaction, a sense of thought.
That's right. Thinking can also bring negative.
Well, yeah, that's what I say supposed to.
That's right, yes. So basically what you're saying, which I agree with absolutely, thank you for sharing that, is that your thoughts determine the way you behave, which they do. Okay, they determine the way you behave, they determine the things you talk about. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Basically, your thoughts are where it all begins. Okay, and that's why we're advised in Proverbs that we need to guard our hearts diligently, because from it come all the issues of life. And that means all the issues of life. That means everything you can think of happening in your life starts from inside of you. So that, I agree. Thoughts definitely affect your behavior. And one thing I want to remind us here about that concept is the fact that your thoughts are the one thing that you can control. Nobody else can control your thoughts. People can try, but ultimately you've got control over your thoughts. And I think that's a very powerful thing. Yeah, so thinking skills are important because your thoughts affect your behavior, and your behavior is what determines your results, really. Your actions always lead to some results. So in a roundabout way, what we're really saying is that your thoughts determine your results, okay, because they put you in the frame of mind to behave in a certain way or to speak in a certain way and things like that. So they determine the outcomes in your life right now. I was just having a coaching session with somebody this morning, and I was sharing with her that, listen, if you want to know what your real thoughts are, because you can pretend, pretend to be who you're not, right? But the outcomes in your life right now tell us exactly who you really are. You can't hide that, because your thoughts will always be reflected, by your life.